Jensen. Number 6, Sophie Skovbo. 7, Kurt Lys. 8, Jesper Ryger. Number 9, Christian Eriksen. Number 10, Sebastian Carlsen. 11, Mark Peters. And number 12, Mikkel Schüssel. Head coach, Jason Richter. Assistant coach, Thor Johansson. And the team from Colombia. Number 7, the captain, Carlos Montoya. Number 2, Paola Sanas. Number 4, John Nunez. 8, Disney Ortiz. 10, Uriel Diaz. 11, Julian Vargas. 13, Pedro Hurtado. 14, Manuel Silva. 22, Lelis Hernandez. And number 25, Giovanni Vanegas. The head coach from Colombia, Jonathan Vargas. Assistant coach, Gloria Rojas. Og nu, kære publikum, now the two national anthems. First, Denmark, please stand. And now the national anthem of Colombia. Vær venlig og rejse jer op. The start of for Denmark, player number 3, the captain Leon Jørgensen. Number 5, Kåre Nielsen. Number 6, Sophie Skovbo. And number 10, Sebastian Frederiksen. Start of for Colombia, the captain number 7, Carlos Montoya. Number 4, John Nunez. Number 10, Uri.
All right, welcome to Vejle, Denmark. We're here for the pool round game between Denmark and Colombia here at the Wheelchair Rugby World Championship of 2022. My name is Dave Mengen. I'm joined by Chris Ryan. We're going to be talking you through this one. Pretty exciting game. I know that Colombia had a strong showing against Brazil yesterday. I called that game, and then Denmark went off and ran Japan to overtime. Lost that one in overtime, but amazing game. Did you get to see any of those?
Yeah, the Denmark-Japan game was a real spectacle here, and you know they're playing really well, so they'll be looking to take that form into the game today.
I know you were saying earlier that Colombia stood pretty strong in the first quarter against Japan, so maybe they can do the same thing here against Denmark?
Yeah, they were really intense at the opening yesterday. I think they got 3 or 4 turnovers off the world number 1 in the first quarter. So, you know, if they can try and bring that into today and, you know, just try and stick with Denmark as long as they can.
You know, I think despite the loss last night, Denmark has a lot to be proud of there, to be able to run with Japan, who has the last gold medal in World Championships, right? 4 years ago in Australia. So the fact that they went toe-to-toe with them for so long is pretty phenomenal. And I think it gives the other teams a wake-up call, right?
100%. I mean, that's the first time I've seen Denmark take Japan to that kind of a game.
Me too.
And you know, you could arguably say they kind of were in control in overtime as well, but unfortunately they just gave that one turnover away with about a minute left, and you know Japan converted it. But you know, Denmark, like you said, they'll be really high on confidence after that. They've got their home crowd here.
Yeah, especially after getting the first try in overtime.
Yeah. Right,
Japan has an incredibly tall player taking that jump, so he gets control of the ball. You always put your shortest guy up against him because you can't win the jump. And Denmark ended up coming away with it.
Yeah, there's Sebastian Fredriksson, who we'll see a lot of today, number 10. He did a great job of kind of stealing that tip-off.
And the tip-off we're about to see right here. Clock's ready. Players on the court. Orozco chewing on something. He was chewing on something yesterday, too. Able to get the ball, but he's close to that line.
Did really well to stay in court there.
I'm glad we have a monitor because there are so many people here I can't see anywhere near the edge of the court. Orozco working it around the outside. Rodriguez and Neme trying to help him get through. Neme, number 7, was man of the match yesterday.
I was really impressed watching Carlos Montoya yesterday, number 7. I believe he's the captain for Colombia. He was a real strong part of the team for them. You know, great leader on the floor.
And the crowd goes wild. It's going to be a loud one today. There's a lot of school kids here, a lot of people from all over Denmark. A sea of red. Orozco lost his wheel. We'll just pop a new one on.
Danmark vandt sin første kamp over Brasilien mandag, og i går var der forlænget spilletid mod Japan.
We caught that pass to score the try, make it 2-1.
Brilliant range of passing from Orozco. We'll see a lot of that in this game. His left hand really is a weapon for Colombia, and he can really kind of pass 3/4 length of the court from anywhere, really.
Well, Fredriksson takes it himself. He had Jorgensen on the other side if he needed a pass. Leon Jorgensen, one of the veterans of this Denmark team, at least on the court.
I was saying yesterday in commentary, I think he's the only player I know that doesn't wear a glove on his hand. Must have hands of steel, Orozco.
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of the people that do that are basketball players that have developed like significant calluses on their hands.
Right.
I like my hands to be soft. I'm going to wear those gloves. Nice pass. That's Nielsen making that pass. Ties things back up. Tough inbound there, but he was able to make it to him. Orozco trapped, looking for help, punched out by Rodriguez. And Vargas there to rescue him.
Vargas showed some great speed yesterday. He was up against some other two-pointers against Japan, and he was able to out-drag them a few times.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed watching the growth in his play over the past several years. Fredrickson makes it 4-4.
Yeah, great start here for Colombia, going goal for goal with
both
Denmark.
teams. Not a turnover, right? We got clean rugby. Everybody trying to kind of figure out defensively how to play one another.
Exactly what the coaches would want, right? You know, coming out, employing the game plans, keeping the offense good.
And timeout called as Orozco's so close to that line.
It looks like a bit of paper in his mouth.
I think it would disintegrate if it was paper. It could be tape. Don't know. I like to chew gum when I'm out there, but then I find it gets really old really fast.
Like having a stone in your mouth.
Well, you have nothing to do with it, right? I'm not going to swallow it. My mom told me it'd be there for 10 years. Orozco around the corner. Watching the double team up here on Fredrickson. Rodriguez trapped down in the key on the other end. We'll call for inbound, so we'll wait for him to come down the court. So Denmark working the double-double here. Little give and go there. And another timeout has to be used by Colombia to protect them from getting hit out of bounds. So now we're starting to see the attrition.
Good tactics there by Denmark, forcing the ball into the lower function players of Colombia. It seems all the other goals, kind of the ball's coming into Orozco first, and he's able to kind of dictate the play, but they forced it into the low pointer there, and they've got some, they've got some success.
Vargas is a solid number 2 for him, but Denmark has him on speed on both high pointers. Vargas just protecting the ball, trying to get back to Orozco. Nice corner there held by Uriel Rodriguez.
And they force Seb to inbound as well, number 10 for Denmark.
Nielsen takes the give and go, trying to get it back to Fredrickson, instead to Jorgensen.
Good press here from Colombia.
He's got a pick.
Good composure there from the captain.
Denmark getting ready to make a substitution.
Wow.
Well done by Vargas. I don't know if Jorgensen didn't see him coming or he knew he was too late to get in that push he needed to get up in front, so.
Sneaky fast.
Yeah. Orozco with a new wheel. sometimes you'll see players call for equipment to get a wheel back. That's their preferred wheel, right? They get that flat, and that the substitute wheel that comes in just isn't the one he wants to use. So as soon as they get it changed, they'll call equipment and get it back.
So a lot of the guys that play wheelchair rugby have impairments in their hands, so they use it's kind of like a handball wax or glue. And when you get a new tire, there's no tack on it, right?
Yeah.
So you always want that sticky tire.
But it's not like you can grab there's nothing to grab onto, right? So you have to just, it's pressure gives you the contact, the friction you need to make those wheels move.
Yeah.
And with no adhesive, sometimes that metal and that plastic are slick. And you really notice the difference when you get one that isn't. Vargas being ridden. And we'll get a penalty try there. If you cross that line without the ball, it's a penalty regardless of what team you're on. But only when it's the active goal line, or try line. Still trading goals, and Colombia calling a coach's timeout. So they'll come back in and talk about it. And Denmark's going to make their substitution now.
I can only think that this is for defensive purposes, because Colombia's, Colombia's offense has been okay, but they're struggling to really get close to any turnovers.
So one of the stars of last night's game, Mark Peters, will join us out there, number 11. I think Kurt Boscasaw out there, number 7. Schuetto, number 12. And is that Christian Bach-Eriksson?
Yes. He had a great game yesterday. He showed some great pace, yeah. You're expecting, there were times where some of the Japan guys were going to catch him up, and he was showing some great pace out there.
Neme trying to work it around. Gets it to Orozco, and Vargas had made the move. He's just ready for it. Well done to get out of there, but
they're struggling to deal with Vargas when he leaks out long, aren't they?
But Colombia's having to work harder to get across half court. At least that's what we've seen so far. We'll see what happens with Peters out here. Long throw of Peters.
I think Denmark would have some success if they put number 9 Christian Eriksen on Vargas. I think he can match him for pace.
Looks like they might have heard you. Although they're doubling Vargas at this point.
It's too much. And they got to stay on the top side of him, so in between Vargas and the goal that they're trying to defend.
This line relies heavily on Mark Peters. It was caught by Denmark player there, Bach-Eriksson. With only 3:15 left in the first, this one's close. 10-10. Colombia with 2 timeouts, Denmark with 4. Orozco doesn't have Vargas this time. Oh, I take that back, he does. He didn't have like the over the top, but he certainly had the option to get him across half court, and that's what they did. Bach-Eriksson getting his hands in there. And Orozco running out of time, 15 seconds left on the shot.
You can turn on a sixpence, can't he, Orozco?
Yeah, his first push is pretty powerful.
Just lost concentration there and let Mikkel Schottel go.
Orozco got a little hand on it, but Peter's able to pick it back up. Neme cannot slow him down.
Can't work out what the ref's called here. Maybe a shot clock error. Saying 30 at the moment.
Well, the ref just signaled for a reset, and they did, so I think we're okay there. I know the Colombian coach was over there getting clarification on something. Coach Jonathan Vargas of Colombia.
Yeah.
Oh, he just kind of threw that over his back. And he got out of trouble. Rodriguez happened to be there for him and got it back.
Brilliant play there from number 10 for Colombia, Diaz, under a lot of pressure.
Schurtel running up the sideline. Orozco's got him dead to rights.
Oh, he did.
Oh, nice move. He did a really good job to get around there. I didn't think he was going to be able to beat the speed of Orozco, but he was going backward. Peters taking his time. Oh, and a bad throw. Is Bach Eriksson going to be able to save it? He does. And knocked down by Neme, but he left the court, so he will go to the penalty box.
I think they're giving this to Colombia, you know. I agree with you. I think.
Oh, maybe Peters was off the court first. No, it's Neme. Okay. Oh. They both went off the court, but I think Neme went first. Excellent defensive play, though. Really aggressive. It's good to see both teams are in this, man. They're fighting hard.
You got to feel for Colombia a bit there. They were so close to about 3 turnovers, weren't they?
You know, if you keep playing like that, they'll fall. And you could see there, that replay was great. You could see that Peters' chair was turned just enough so that his caster wasn't off the court. But Neme was coming in hot to block that pass. So while not a victory in the outcome, a moral victory, I think, for Colombia on that play. I think they're feeling good. 1:27 left in the first.
We're in that period now where teams will be trying to score at a certain time to leave, to make sure that they have the last possession of the game. So often teams try and score around 50 to 55 seconds. Let's see what Colombia do here.
Orozco working off the pick of bust. Schurtel there to keep him from getting around the corner. Peters now giving him a smack. And Neme backs across the line with 58 seconds remaining.
So Denmark will try and score fast here if they can.
And with Peters out there, you certainly are capable of that. Vargas, one push too late to slow him down. So Denmark will have another opportunity unless Colombia uses a timeout to avoid that situation. Orozco gets across. Eriksson reaching in there.
One of those things. Denmark don't want to foul Colombia here. Otherwise,
Vargas
Colombia
in a great position to help him. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. You saw some of the Denmark players reaching, but if they'd have reached, they'd have given Colombia the reset on the shot clock, and they'd have been able to run the whole quarter out.
Oh, knocked out there by Orozco, but Peters able to save it. Vargas comes in, try and knock him out of bounds. Schurtel will protect it. 8 seconds left. And now it's going to be Orozco and Peters trying to determine what happens here. And thrown away by Peters. Time's up. 14-13, Colombia leads after one. And here's that last play where Orozco, as he went for the dribble, able to pop it out of Peter's lap. But Mark able to get control of it. Unable to turn it into a try, though. If you would ask me if this would have been the score, I would never have guessed this in a million years. Yeah, I mean, Colombia's playing well. Denmark's playing really well. I'm glad to see this. This is a tight match. Very exciting.
Definitely seeing some kind of shock, even if it's just a quarter score, you know, some shock results so far in this tournament, which is great for the spectacle of each game. You know, people are obviously, these teams are obviously doing a lot of work behind the scenes to try and close the gap on teams like this. So. Something I noticed yesterday watching Mark Peters, he one of the Japanese high pointers was trying to hit him, and basically the Japanese guy fell out and Mark didn't move at all.
Oh, yeah, I saw that play.
He just seems so strong in his chair, like you just can't move him, whereas most people, you go into them with enough force and you can, you know, get a bit of change out of them. Or
well, yeah, and I think it's about how he sits in his chair. He looks like he's small. I mean, stout but small, and that's because he sits low, so he has a low center of gravity. So when somebody hits you, you know, that wall is down low where the chair is making the contact. When I used to sit pretty high in my chair, and I would get hit and get knocked over all the time. And every time I get a new chair, I go a little lower, a little lower. Can I go a little lower this time, guys? And it's really changed my ability to stay upright and the amount of power I have in my hit.
Right.
And then you go and put 10 or 20 pounds of ankle weights on your axles, and you can really plow through people. Sometimes I'll train with ankle weights just to try and get my stamina up, and I'll leave them in if we scrimmage and see what happens. It's actually pretty exciting. Wow, look at that hit. Bach Eriksson very light. So our 3-minute break here is close to over. 31 seconds remaining. Denmark are ready, itching to go. Some Colombian spectators. I'm glad some of them made the trip. That is a long trip.
So Denmark here will really just try and focus on trying to get some stops here on Colombia.
And it means they got to stop Orozco.
Yeah. And that Vargas leaking out long as well.
Yeah, they've complemented each other very well. Now Denmark switching up lines again. Fredriksson and Schöttel out there with Thomas Pay, number 1. And Bach Eriksson still on the floor. Bach Eriksson setting up in the key, ready to catch a pass. He's got to worry about the 10 seconds there. Fredriksson getting harassed by Rodriguez.
He's working really hard out there. That was brilliant defense from him.
And able to find a hole. Fredriksson gets the first try of the second quarter.
Great inbound there from Montoya. Good range for a one-pointer.
Yeah, excellent. At this level, you know, other than the .5s, most of the players can throw one-handed. Still no turnovers in this game. Very, very clean rugby. Orozco racing there trying to beat Schöttel. Cannot. Sure-handed is Schöttel. That's why he's out there.
The 2 two-pointers for Denmark have really improved over the last 2 or 3 years. become really, really solid and, you know, and great players to play alongside Fredrickson and Mark Peters.
Rodriguez open at the top. Fredrickson is going to come and try and make him pay for this. But it will be Colombia's ball. He got in there and swatted it away as Rodriguez tried to pull it into his lap. Watch this, 10 tries to grab it.
I just saw on the court there, they had a few words with each other as well. All good spirited.
Coach is very happy that play, you still have possession. You move down court, got across half. But now they have to face the key of Denmark. Fredrickson long and lean. Don't want to pass over him in his face. And Vargas able to sneak in. That play well set up to allow him the opportunity to get through, and Colombia gets the try. So when you're working that key, you're always trying to draw the defense to one side or another to make it so that one player is stuck covering a large space so you can get somebody inside like that. So Fredrickson ducks under the pile. Nice pick by Bach Eriksson. And Schroetel there for the outlet pass. Nice easy pass by Fredrickson. He made the pass before he was in trouble.
Looks like Denmark are trying to put on a deny press here.
Schroetel all over Rodriguez. Roscoe double teamed as always, and Vargas dancing with Bach Eriksson at half court.
Oh, great pick there.
Yeah, Pay got a piece of it. Orozco had to work the long way around. And Neme seals the corner. No timeout called. He got hit from behind by Schroetel. Good heads-up play there because he'd have knocked him into the cone if he hadn't called timeout. He did knock him into the cone.
Brilliant defensive play from Schroetel. He didn't realize he was there, did he?
He just wasn't able to make the turn because Schroetel got his right wheel, keeping him from making that right turn. Well done. So what's Neme calling for there? On a play. So Colombia will set up an attack play here. Orozco trying to draw Peters to the right, but Vargas hooked up on Pay, finally gets to the middle.
Really good patience here from Colombia, you know.
Yeah, very impressive.
Not always easy, the goals that they're scoring, but they're finding a way, aren't they?
This Colombia's only second appearance at World Championships. The last one was in Australia 4 years ago. They won one game against Poland, and I think they lost the rematch later on in the crossovers.
I remember they were in our pool in Australia, and the amount that they've come on since then is night and day. It's unbelievable.
You can say the same thing about Denmark, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the team they were 4 years ago is not the team they are today. Off the back of Peters' head, and that'll be a turnover. I guess you credit Peters with that, right?
Yeah.
In the right place at the right time.
Need to pressure him with the ball here.
Kruger gets it out. And Mark Peters gives Denmark their first lead of the game.
A great behind the back pass there from Mon Nilsson, the 1-5 to Denmark.
I don't see a 1-5 on Denmark.
Number 5.
Oh, I see. It's a typo. It looks like he's a 5. He can't be a 5.
He's number 5.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah, he had a really good game yesterday, Mom Nilsson. He's got good range on his inbounds, and he was a real difference against Japan. He was able to leak out long because they didn't have a matchup for him. So he's playing really well.
I was calling the game during that, and on our way out, we went through the media room, and a whole bunch of the guys were watching the Denmark game, and we saw how close it was. We had to stop and watch the last 15 minutes of it, plus overtime.
So Mikkel Schertel was knocked out of bounds there by the Colombian team. So he goes into the sin bin for a minute or until Colombia score.
That'll make it a bit easier to try and tie this thing up. Great pass. If you look at Kruger, he's got some long arms. He's backing up there trying to block that pass. Neme able to throw it all the way to the other side of the key and hit Vargas right in the numbers. So Schertel has an equipment issue, able to save himself from that 10-second concern. I think he might have a flat because he's given the international symbol for wheel. That's equipment. Peters patiently waiting for his opportunity. Like a running back in football waiting for that hole to develop. Coast to coast. Denmark coach Jason Regier watching there.
Good defense there from Mikkel Schertel.
Rodriguez in trouble at that line.
Oh.
He needs to go away from there. He does. Gets it to Orozco. And Orozco, as you see, he holds that up really high where nobody can get to it.
Just felt Mark Peters should have gone and pressured the low pointer there when he had it down by his pick bar.
That's what I expected when I saw Rodriguez against that line. Oh, great pass. And being in the right place at the right time, Vargas. Yeah, Colombia is definitely getting better and better. And that's better for everybody. The most competitive Paralympics we've ever seen was in Brazil, and then in Tokyo, to see GB rise to the occasion and win their first medal in a major, right? In the World Championships or in a Paralympics, their first medal is gold.
Yeah, I mean, when we went there, we thought, we knew we had a chance of winning it, but we never got over that line.
Yeah.
And we knew our best was good enough, but we weren't able to always play our best for.
I thought you had a chance to win it in Brazil.
Yeah.
It was really one try that was the difference between making the medal round and not making the medal round.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's got to be so frustrating. That you've got 5 teams that are capable of taking that medal, and then you look at this week, we've got.
So we did just see a turnover there. Colombia created a turnover.
That's interesting. And the penalty that just happened there, the penalty try that was given, was the Colombian player, the Denmark player, Schertel, went after, holy moly, he bent it. So, right, Fredrickson, so it was Rodriguez and
Mom Nilsson.
Right, Nielsen. And when the Denmark player went to hit Rodriguez out, he hit both players out, and Nielsen actually went across the line first.
That was one hell of a hit, wasn't it? He's completely bent his will.
This is a great montage of little moments. Nielsen trying to get around Rodriguez, but the pass over to Peters. Neme chased him down, but he got his picker in just far enough to get turned over.
Been really impressed with Rodriguez's work rate. He's everywhere. it seems
Ouch.
like.
When you land on your arm like that, that hurts.
It's one where the elbow swells up in the evening.
I'm more worried about his shoulder in that situation. But if he had pulled his arm in, his shoulder would have really got smacked. Because you're not just falling there, you're being thrown to the floor with the momentum. But we're all doing our best to try and keep our heads from bouncing on the floor, and sometimes your shoulders or your elbows are the consequence. So Neme seems to be good enough to make this pass. And now Roscoe and Fredrickson will race across half. Vargas will get it, but he's got a lot of pressure.
Oh, he did well to stay out there.
He kind of stopped pushing to make the catch, and it only takes one push for somebody to get in front of you, and it's Jorgensen aggressively attacking him. Fredrickson on the other side trying to get through Neme.
Really good composure there from Vargas.
Just patience. Patience I haven't seen them exercise before. Really well done. And as you see, Orozco always catches that ball and then turns his hand around so he can bring it down because he only has the one.
So we have a timeout called there from Denmark. And Sebastian Fredrickson went into the electronic advertisement boards, and we hope the lady behind that table's okay.
That's the first time I've been worried about that all game. I think I put the over-under at 3 before we hit a board.
Let's see if we can lock Roscoe up with 3.
Seems to be okay. I mean, those are just LEDs there, but the boards are really thick in this job. A lot of computerized stuff going on in there. There's 2 power cords in each one. A fan. And they're checking it out to make sure it's not damaged. But you know, when I came in on this court the first time, they had those boards up against the white decals, and I said, I don't think you want to do that. So we had a conversation about it, and the resolution was to add some more floor out there and put it up on there because they didn't want it to be lower than the floor. This ain't basketball. Jorgensen. Orozco on him. And now it's back to Fredrickson, number 10.
Good defense here from Colombia, good switch in.
Neme holding that corner. Fredrickson keeps coming back to it and able to draw the defense far enough to the left that Jorgensen can get that corner. Leon, number 3.
Rodriguez for Colombia on that key defense, the way he sharks the guys outside the key is really good.
And credit Sophie Scobu there for sealing that. She waited for her opportunity.
Turnover. And it's that man again, Sebastian Fredrickson. He's so often the man that will get the turnovers for Denmark.
They're going to have a lot more trouble with that outlet when you've got Jorgensen on Vargas. So Neme trying to pick for Vargas. Orozco across half, as is Vargas. Rodriguez
Wide open here.
He was sitting there in the corner hoping for a pass. And now he's back into play. Vargas drops it. Neme picks it up. Gets it back to Orozco. Nielsen drops into the key, trying to make sure that Orozco can't get that corner. Vargas against the line, trying to get the ball.
Oh, right at the death.
Jorgensen got a piece of it and knocked it back into the hand of Orozco, but Orozco able to tuck it underneath. Watch here, he didn't even get to touch it. It was a fake. I thought maybe he had rejected it. And the Colombians in the crowd excited. But Denmark quickly makes it 23-22 with less than a minute left in the second.
it really looks like Denmark have upped the ante a little bit here. Their defense has become a little more strong.
Denmark 23, Colombia 22.
And the real difference is turnovers. Colombia has 1, Denmark has 2. Oh, Neme tries to catch it on the way across the line, but that'll be another turnover.
Just a little too much heat and height on that pass, I think, there. He nearly corralled it in.
That is a great reaction video. That'll be a meme at some point. I'll have to try and clip that. That'll be fun. Jorgensen patiently working his way around the outside. And timeout called as
Great
he's
press
probably
there from
close
Colombia.
to running out of his 12.
2 to go now, 20 seconds.
So Colombia now dropping in the key with 20 seconds remaining. Denver up by 1. And had a big turnover there at the line. Gives Denmark the opportunity to go into halftime by 2. Even if Neme had caught that one, he'd have been across that line. Just a little too high.
10 seconds left. Can they
Robertson coming
score?
for the corner and gets the try with 7.5 left. Although with the Roscoe out there's always that chance. 7.5 is a lot of time. But he's got to get it by Fredrickson and Peters first. Or I'm sorry, Jorgensen. And the time expires. Denmark will go into halftime with a 2-try lead over Colombia. So far, this has been a great match.
It has, yeah. I mean, it was only till the last 2 minutes of that quarter that Denmark regained the lead, wasn't it?
And since then, they have not lost it. So we've got 3 turnovers for Colombia and 1 for Denmark after 2.
Colombia have 1 timeout left and Denmark with 2 left. So both teams using their timeouts wisely.
20 of those tries that Colombia has on the board are evenly distributed between Orozco and Vargas. The other split evenly between Neme and Rodriguez. More balanced on the Denmark side. Fredrickson on the heavy with 9.
Yeah, I think Denmark have a bit more strength and depth in their team, so they're able to sub players on and off more.
Absolutely. We've seen several lines from Denmark. Colombia hasn't really done anything different yet.
Seeing the statistics here from the first quarter, as you can, well, from the second quarter, sorry. Denmark just giving away the 1 turnover and creating 3 against Colombia. I feel like most of them came towards the end, though.
Absolutely. They all came toward the end. Well, the first quarter and a half was pretty much turnover free. So this is a 10-minute break. Stands clearing out. I don't know if the kids are going home or if they're just going out to get some fresh air. You know, you don't want to leave kids sitting there with nothing to look at for 10 minutes. Or something bad will happen. He's probably not listening, but Elliot is out there. He'll probably hear this later. Hi, Elliot. His 8-year-old son. He likes hearing Daddy talk about rugby. He comes to the games. He likes pushing around in the chair. In fact, we did a demo in for physical therapy, occupational therapy, and adaptive rec students.
Okay.
And so they got to try basketball and tennis, and I went and did the rugby version, and They had a good time, but my son got to be the referee. He was
Okay.
8-year-old with a whistle, electronic whistle. He had a great time with that, but then he wanted to get in a chair, and those kids were great from the community college there. They helped him get across the try line, and he was very excited because he was getting frustrated he couldn't get across.
Often when you see the kids of some of these players jump in the rugby chairs, they're often really good because they've gone and jumped in chairs from such a young age. And
Yep. And then once in a while you'll see somebody's little kid jump in their lap as they go to do the handshake at the end of the game. Always adorable. There's some kids at the end line there waving at somebody they know. So what do we got coming up next today? Pull up a schedule.
I believe Great Britain and New Zealand on this court, I believe.
I have the next game off, but then I work the remaining 3 games. So Japan and Canada on the other court right now. They started at 9.
I actually caught some of that before I came in here, and that seemed like a really good game. There was just two or three tries in it.
Another good game coming up after that, USA-France. France just coming off winning the European Championship. They look very good.
That will be really interesting to see, actually, because USA got a new coach in Joe Delagrave, and that's actually taken Joe from being one of the athletes, and he was a key athlete for USA.
Absolutely. With not having him on the court certainly changes what's going on, but USA has a lot of depth. You'll see a lot of different players playing in any of their games. Later in the day on this court, we'll have Switzerland, Germany, Australia versus Denmark. Should be a great game, right? That's a rematch of Tokyo, where Denmark beat Australia. Although Australia will tell you that because they were short a 0.5. Great Britain and France should be a great game again today. There's some really good games today.
Yes,
I'm working the other court. I get to do Brazil, Japan, Colombia versus Canada, and New Zealand versus the United States. I think I got the wrong court today. But those would be some great games. You have to come out and watch those.
Yeah, I mean those two you stated there, Australia, Denmark, and Great Britain, France. They're going to be great games with teams trying to get revenge. France managed to beat Great Britain in the European Championships not so long ago. So GB will be trying to right that wrong and getting one back up on them.
Well, with this new structure for the crossovers, there's a good chance that some of these teams will see each other again.
Do you like the new structure with the quarterfinals?
I don't know. I have never seen it played that way, so I want to see it happen. I'm going to reserve judgment on it.
I think if I had to choose now, I think it's good in the sense that there's more chances for people to potentially cause an upset. It also forces you to forces the top teams to be consistent.
There's an argument that you can lose one game and it can be all the difference.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that the best 4 teams are going to end up in the top 4. It means that the best 2 on each side are going to make it up there, right? And now we don't have that. We have the top 8 competing to get into that medal round, and I think it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see.
I think this group is the tougher of the 2 groups. So we have Denmark, Canada. Who else do we have in this group? Australia and Japan. So we're seeing how good Denmark are this tournament. Taking the world number 1s into overtime. And if you've got the fourth, so they'd be fourth ranked in this group, and if you've got that team taking the world #1s to overtime, there's going to be some really competitive games.
Well, and I think the difference in the pools is, as the host nation, Denmark got to choose pools. So the top 3 and the bottom were set, and Denmark got to choose which side they were on. So whichever side Denmark chose was going to end up being the stronger pool. Their question was, which of the 3 teams do we want to compete with before we get to those crossovers? So yeah, I watched that draw, and you could see the anguish in Coach Jason Regeer's face as he tried to decide which one he should choose, and thinking in the back of his head, geez, if I choose this wrong, I'm going to regret it.
Right.
I the way Denmark is playing, I don't think it matters. I think they're going to have a good showing. I think they have an opportunity just as well as any of the other teams in front of them. And when I say in front of them, I mean in the rankings. One minute remains in our break here, this 10-minute extended halftime show for television. The children are back. Glad to see that. Oh, they know they're on camera.
It was brilliant hearing the national anthems before the game. They either all knew the national anthem or they learned it at school, and they came to the game and they were all singing it
Loud and proud.
Yeah.
That's right.
How it should be.
Early on, they were doing a chant too. There's a guy up there with a bass drum, and he's banging on it, and they're cheering along with him. Hopefully, we'll get a little more of that as we go. So Colombia with the possession arrow will start with the red and white molten ball. And off we go. Denmark will start the half with a 2-try advantage. And Orozco patient on the attack. Slips in there. Kind of looked like he was just not even trying that hard. I mean, it just seemed like it was opened up for him, and he pushed his way through. No intensity, no surprise on his face, no joy in making that try.
It's always hard to work out whether that's good offense or bad defense.
Yeah. Well, his patience paid off. He got what he was looking for. Clean look at the try line. Fredrickson comes back. Sneaks in there between the cone and Orozco.
Vargas being ushered out the half here by Montoya.
So yes, Charlie Neme, number 7, with the try. It's Neme, yeah. They've got it wrong on the other sheet. It says Montoya. It's his other family. He'd love it if you called him Charlie. Just opened a restaurant. I think it's called Charlie's. Orozco squeaks through. Bach Erickson chases him down.
Some serious speed when he gets going.
Yeah. Fredrickson tries to get it to Bach. Erickson does not.
Is Shuttle going to get it?
He does. And he has to call timeout. Ref's going to say he called timeout. I hope we have a replay of that one.
I thought it was late, but maybe he calls it when he's in the air.
Yep,
Yes,
he did.
His
His wheels did not touch the ground out of bounds, so he is not out of bounds yet. Same thing is true about the ball.
See if we can
If the
get
ball
that
bounces
inbounder
out of
picked up.
bounds, unless it
I
touches
want
the
you
floor,
on the 1-5,
if you're
I
able
want you
to
on the
reach
2.
out and get it,
Straight man.
so be it.
Here we go. Score this and then
Kind of hear Coach Jason Regier there. They got a microphone into the pile, giving his team some guidance. Jason Regier, USA player, played on the Team USA for a long time. Grade .5. Also with the Denver Harlequins. And did they call a push?
Turnover.
That's interesting. Neme is saying equipment.
It's a good start to this period for Colombia. Burning one of Denmark's timeouts and getting a turnover.
You also see Denmark getting ready to substitute here. So it looks like Rodriguez also has a problem. He's given the wheel symbol. Vargas trying to get across that line, can't. He ended up passing that one. And there's Bach Eriksson keeping up with Orozco. Orozco hits the brakes.
So interesting lineup here from Jason Regier. He not seen this lineup play before. It's 3-5-2-1-5-1, and it looks like they're trying to match up with Colombia and say our guys are better than yours. Let's see if he's right.
We got time to find out right now. Vargas picks that one up off the ground.
It's often a good way to go if you're struggling with a way to stop a team. You know, just matching up point for point can be.
And nice bump there by Neme, number 7. Schurtel across. Quick inbound. Vargas needs to get it over. And while Orozco's locked up, those low pointers aren't going to get the ball out of his hand. Just too tall, too long a reach. Vargas working with his pick. Got to worry about Peters. Neme comes back, helps him get out. Now help from Schurtel. And they're going to say leaving the court. Schurtel got bounced across the line. We'll see it right here. So yeah, it's cast across the line. Penalty try.
Gotta get his bouncing.
Vargas forced him to turn around. That was good defense there, but Peters streaking down the line. So now a triple team on Orozco. So they're going to let Peters try and handle this double team. Rodriguez can't get in there, but. And that's why you hang on to that guy instead of letting him go after the ball comes in, is because if you let him escape, he's going to come and make you pay for it.
I think if I was Denmark here, I'd be looking to go more matchup for matchup, so I'd have Mark Peters on Orozco. They seem to be doubling Orozco at the minute, and it's allowing Vargas to be able to follow either Nene or Rodriguez out.
And that's your trade-off. They're soft tripling him so they can contain him. And they're happy to get him away from the inbound so they can't catch it. Then they're going to force Vargas to take that catch. But I don't disagree with what you're saying. Neme pops that corner open. Pushing Kruger out of the way. Now Nielsen will inbound to Schurtel. Turned by Orozco. And Vargas stuck on the picker of Nielsen, unable to help out.
Brilliant play there from Schurtel. And a lovely pick and roll from Mark Peters there, coming down to take Orozco off of Schurtel. This looks more like the man-for-man matchup that I was talking about. So Mark over by Orozco. I don't think they need Jasper over there as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, this seems like a double-double situation to me.
There we go. So there's they're going for it, the man-for-man.
So now Vargas gets himself into position to take an inbound. And Orozco is free. Not exactly
poor communication
free.
there.
Peters.
Complete mix-up on defense.
Well, they switched the defense, and it only takes one person not doing what everyone's doing together to really make your defense just fall apart. Tied up at 30, Denmark with the advantage in the ball.
Brilliant push in there from Schertel again.
Nice long pass. Will he get it? He does.
I think it's probably time for a coach's timeout for Denmark here. They're really struggling to press Colombia, and it's coming more through a lack of communication. I think they're not switching when they need to be. They're letting Colombia change the matchups.
And like you said earlier, Colombia, none of these guys has had a single moment of break other than between the quarter and the half. I think at some point that's going to be a problem. No matter what kind of shape you're in, at the end of this game, you're going to be tired. It's been said that you sprint 5 miles, a total of 5 miles in a game.
Per player?
Yeah, individually.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how true that is, but it's been said. I don't know how long is the court? 90 meters? Or is it 90 feet? I think it's 90. Orozco in trouble there at the line. He's got Rodriguez. Good job maintaining his chair there and having control and able to protect the ball. Because you're always in jeopardy of getting pushed across the line when you got Peters next to you or Fredrickson.
Crowd trying to inject some energy into Denmark.
Both of these teams looking for an opportunity to create some space in that score sheet. And now we've got equipment. Rodriguez looks like he's got an axle. Oh, I can't tell if he wants a wheel or an axle. Something's stuck. I don't know if it's rubbing or it's flat, but we saw him get a wheel bent earlier, so.
Might be running out soon.
Well, fortunately, you know, if you have enough guys with the same wheel size, you can trade them out. But different players glue up their wheels differently, and they like more indentation or less indentation because they push in different places. So when you use someone else's wheel, it's a disadvantage because it's not the way you would like it. So right after I said nobody got a rest, we have Venegas on the floor instead of Vargas. He gets his first try, but that's the only substitution so far for Colombia. Fredrickson off by himself.
just having a look at the Colombian bench over there, looks like Vargas is struggling with the heat a little bit. A lot of these quadriplegics that play the game can't actually sweat, so they can't control their body temperature so well. So considering he's played 2.5 quarters.
And Peters gets there, disrupts the pass. Fredriksson picks it up. And that's the space that Denmark was looking for. Now a 2-try difference.
Just gets his fingertips in there, Mark Peters.
And even not being able to catch the pass, he made it sure that Orozco could not. Venegas open up top. And he turned back to maybe make a pick, and Orozco sent the pass expecting him to be ball option, which is what I would have expected him to do. But remember, he's been sitting on the bench for the past 40 minutes. 50 minutes. He's just getting warmed up. Neme trying to chase down Peters. A valiant effort, but no match for the speed of Peters. Orozco and Peters. Fredriksson helping out. Got both high pointers there because Venegas is trapped up top.
Great pick there from Nene.
You cannot discount those low pointers. The work that they do is invaluable. Orozco has to make him choose, and he does. Peters gets a try. 37-34. Rodriguez trapped out of the play at the top. So it's 3 Colombians and 2 Great Danes around the court. Orozco needs to get in and dribble here. Much better view on the monitor. Down at this end. Orozco has that corner. Venegas. And Orozco looking down like something's not right. Did he call equipment? Is it just his axle, or has he got a flat?
They're racking up the equipments in this game, aren't they, Colombia?
Certainly are. That's why you need a guy who can change the tire really quickly. A fake pass by Orozco. Orozco would have been better to take care of in that situation. That's big. Denmark had just started creating some separation between themselves and the Colombian team. And now an opportunity to get back within 1. Colombia. Venegas looking for Orozco. Finally gets it to him.
Better get out.
Rodriguez had an opportunity to go long. Oh, what a pass. Caught over the top of his head. Venegas. Credit Orozco for putting that where only he could catch it. Peters. Orozco turned away there. Great job by Scobo. Number 6. Denmark taking their time. Final minute of play in the third. They want to score with 55. Fredriksson will. 54.6. And Neme got it to Orozco. Orozco has a lot of company.
They send that ball.
He's got Neme really long, but I don't know if that pass was good enough. It's
a fantastic pass.
And a good presence of mind there to
Looks like Orozco's hurt.
collect that ball and protect his chair.
I think Orozco's hurt. Didn't quite see what happened to him. No, this would be a shame.
Yeah, this Colombia is not the same team without him. He couldn't push through that, and I don't know why. Let's see if we can see something that happened before that.
Seems to be after he threw the ball, I think.
Look at the frustration of Peters as that pass gets away from him. Orozco might be done. Coach's timeout. So they're going to give him a minute here to kind of evaluate. But if he's injured enough that it's going to affect his play, they need to take him out. Because this game, while it matters, they need him the rest of this tournament. And if they play him now and it makes it so that he can't play later, I think that's to their detriment. I know every player wants to play. They want to fight through it, but you got to make the best decision for your team long term. Rodriguez getting wiped off. Obviously he can sweat. Denmark just waiting patiently. So Orozco back on the court.
Let's see how he moves after that.
And it's the right arm as opposed to the long left arm. Well, he doesn't look like he's slowed up at all. He's certainly fighting. Peters trying to get it out of there. Does to Fredrickson. Venegas meets him. Peters working his way into the key. Comes back to set a pick. Neme has the corner. Fredrickson over the top to Peters.
Just in time.
0.8 seconds left in the quarter. 39-36. This is what score we will go into the third break with. We have a 3-minute time here for teams to regroup. And we'll catch the finale of this beauty of a rugby match.
Starting line, so starting line. It's all ball, right?
Colombia doing a really great job of
Come here, Leon,
sticking
and Seth,
in this
please.
game.
Come over.
You know, a great shift. They've only used 5 players,
Go forward, little tour.
but those 5 players really have, you know, worked their hearts out.
Nice, clean offense. We got a timeout if we need anything. We got to stay spread out and on the move. Watch the Roscoe hands, passing over that, okay? Take care of the ball on offense here. Defense, we can drop in the key. Otherwise, we are going box, okay? One of you low, Sophie high, and just straight, we'll start box. I'll call out a man. If you find ourselves, if we can double the 1-5 or the 2 and we got it, just go there, then we're going straight man. Only go pick out if you're down there and we just scored the key. And I've got 2 coaches, I can get you back, no problem, okay?
We're ready to stop it.
Gotcha.
Really fantastic listening into Jason Regier there.
Yeah, I'm fascinated just listening to his guidance there.
He was talking about a couple of presses he might do. They spoke about a box press there. Might be something that we have to work out from up here in the commentary box, but he also said he's got 2 coaches timeouts just in case Sophie gets caught in any positions where she might need to inbound. He'll call a coach's timeout.
Which one are you looking for? Last night?
So yesterday we had Colombia play Japan, and that game ended up running out 60-34 in favor of Japan. And bear in mind that Denmark lost just in overtime to Japan. Shows how different matchups can make
By
different
1,
games.
right? 61-60, I think, was the score.
So you go
A
from
much higher scoring affair than this one.
that game being a 26 try gap, and this one just being a 3 try gap from 2 teams that were basically goal for goal yesterday. It's a crazy game.
Yeah, a lot of offense in that game. A lot more tries than we're seeing here. Of course, they also had an overtime to add some to that, but you know, the overtime's only a few minutes long. You don't see a whole lot of scoring. It's really about trying to get that one turnover or managing it so that you get the last try of the game after the, you know, if you get the first, you have the advantage right away, which Denmark did. And didn't work out in their favor.
A couple of subs here for Colombia.
Looks like number 2, Martinez, and we have Vargas back. Up over the top. Jorgensen takes it across. So again, they designed that play. He attacks the right side, pushing the defense over. So that one of his teammates can seal that and force the other defender to either take him or take the ball. Orozco working back behind Martinez. Goes around the other side.
Still seems to be bothering him a little bit, that right arm. He was touching it after that try. But he seems to be moving okay still.
Well, I'm sure they're going to have to do something for him here in the break. Seems like he's nursing the end that he... but when he was holding it up by his shoulder, so I'm not exactly sure what the injury is. I'll try and find out in between games, but I also don't want to take advantage of my familiarity with the team and put them in a disadvantage by giving away an injury that, you know, the inside information if it doesn't want to be made public. So I'll try and use my discretion there and ask whether or not they're okay with me letting that information out.
See Julian Vargas coming back in. Just offers a bit more speed, I think. And he really has had a great game, hasn't he, Vargas?
He has. He's been very effective. And we're about to get that question again. So now we got to figure this out.
I feel like the Colombia, like either Orozco or Julian Vargas, has maybe played above their station more than any of the Denmark players.
Yeah, I would lean toward Vargas myself.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'd be happy with either of those two, so. Well, he's been asked too much of there.
A little too much pass there from Orozco. He wasn't able to get across half, and Vargas went deep. But not deep enough. Oh. Denmark almost losing the handle on that one. But Jorgensen gets around Orozco.
Nice move from Jorgensen there. He got up on one wheel, didn't he, as he went past Orozco.
Blast right through Neme and Vargas. It's interesting, as now we have a 5-try difference. I don't think that accurately represents this game at all.
No.
Right? I mean, now, while we're only 6 minutes left, and it has been toe-to-toe all the way.
And then we have our pick for player of the game there, showing his speed against Leon. Just couldn't quite catch him.
Yeah, I think harder to choose a Denmark player as player of the game just because we saw so many of them. Whereas, you know, most of these Colombian players played the whole game.
It's going to be a turnover here.
Got a break, but... And now Orozco's got it. They're going to call it a jump. It will be Colombia's ball. Sorry, a held ball, not a jump.
As soon as I saw that ball go on the floor, there was only one winner, wasn't there, with Orozco's hand function in that left hand.
Well, but only one hand, right? So he's got to somehow corral that and pull it up. And, you know, either you end up with a jump or a foul.
He's got almost like Spider-Man control in that hand.
He's got a big hand, he's got a great grip, even without the glove.
Commentators.
Well, that went to his right side. It's harder to catch on the right side because of that shorter arm. Rodriguez, smart to turn back there, but Fredrickson, great job there creating that turnover. And number 3, Leon Jorgensen, takes it across the line to make it 44-39, Denmark.
And as so often we've seen in this tournament, a turnover after a turnover.
I think you see that in every tournament. when you get a turnover, there's this feeling of desperation, like you have to make something happen now. I got this, I gotta take advantage of it, and people will turn it back over because they don't realize that if they just slow down, they got 40 seconds. Right? There's no hurry. You got to turn over, unless you're in the final seconds of a quarter or the game. It happens all the time.
Colombia just gave another turnover away there. Perhaps getting a little bit tired after the brilliant effort that they put in.
I think absolutely that is a factor. I think Orozco's shoulder is a factor.
Going back to what you said, about it being just a normal situation and having that 40 seconds to score, it's about changing that mindset, isn't it? Because you're obviously really intense on defense, and then you've got to change your whole mindset and get ice in your veins when it comes to offense.
You go from intensity to trying to go to calm and protecting that ball, whereas you were just trying to swat at the ball and spend it on defense. That's where your energy needs to go most of the time. But because more often than not, people are going to score, you can sell your soul on defense to try to create that turnover.
Yeah.
Spend it, or sell the farm is what they say, not sell your soul, sell the farm. 45-39, halfway through. Rodriguez hung on to that ball in the backcourt longer than I think he has all game. This time it's Neme up top.
It's really been Denmark's Achilles heel, isn't it? Trying to deal with that person who's gone long. And that pass from Orozco.
Well, they're being aggressive in the backcourt, and that they should be. And that's how they've created these turnovers eventually. Fredrickson has played a great game, though. He also is a great candidate for man of the match.
Yeah, there's been some good performances still from Denmark, isn't there?
Yeah, Jorgensen too. He's created some turnovers. He's defied the odds in several situations. But I think that, when you look at difference maker for your team, I don't think we made a bad choice. Some people will disagree.
And an honourable mention to all the starters as well for Colombia, because they've all been great, haven't they? Neme, the captain, Rodriguez is worked great on defense.
And they've worked, most of them have not had any time off. And those that have, it wasn't very long. Vargas gets across half.
Their physio might have some work to do this evening.
Colombia,
46-41, 3.5 minutes left. Orozco looking like he's feeling the effects of whatever has happened to his arm. not the same level of intensity in moments, but not as a general rule.
Yeah.
Being a little more patient. Gets across half behind the pick of Neme. Rodriguez turns back instead of going to the try line. He's going to let Roscoe take it himself. And now the pass to Neme. Looks like Nielsen's a little tired. He's laying down, taking a break. But they'll get him back up. You're not done yet, buddy. Get back in your chair. I like that they have a mop to mop up sweat. Yeah, you can't call a spin on that one. He put himself over. And Peters will replace Fredrickson. Peters, number 11. He's had a great tournament so far.
Just been watching Uriel Diaz, number 10 for Colombia. He really is an inspiration to Colombia's defense. When you've got a guy pushing around with that much effort, it really is contagious. He doesn't stop going.
And that's all you can ask as a coach, right?
Well, you get one person on the team doing that, and the other three have to. Otherwise, you look like you're pedestrian, or you're not working for the cause like someone else is.
And I always say, if you're not going to push your chair, I got a bunch of guys on the bench who want to.
Yeah.
So let's go.
Even there, you can see on the replay, didn't quite get that ball, but
he pushed to the end. So many great players, so many great efforts today. When somebody asked, will you guys choose man of the match or player of the game? And the answer came back yes from one of us. And I thought about it at the time, and I said, yeah, that shouldn't be a problem, but it's a lot harder than I thought, right? Because there are so many people who are deserving of recognition.
I mean, I watch a lot of the Premier League in England, and they always give man of the match to the winning team. But I think that's a little harsh sometimes. If you're actually looking for the best performer, compared to what their standard performance is, I don't think it's always the case that the winning team should.
And it's not. And the same thing is true in football in the United States. Most of the time, the MVP will be on the winning team, which makes sense, right? But sometimes you will see an MVP be on the other team.
Yeah.
They'll just have a lights out statistical day, and it's impossible to deny, but it's pretty rare. Like when we vote on MVP of a tournament, I always look for the guy that makes the biggest difference for his team.
Right.
And not just because he's that guy, but because he's played just so phenomenally and worked so hard. In fact, the first time I ever won MVP, my team broke into two, and I was on the B squad. And it was mostly new guys. And I never worked so hard in my life. And when they gave me the MVP, it brought me to tears. I was just really, to be recognized for the effort that I put in, and to be on a team that won one game and lost a lot of ones pretty ugly. And I got pretty frustrated, right? Because I was the only one who really understood what was going on. Trying to help these guys along, but I'm also very, very frustrated because, we were all out there to win. We want to win these games. And
yeah.
It was pretty phenomenal, so. I guess it had its effect on me.
It's a great story.
So with 1:20 left, Colombia down by 7. They will work down the clock, try and get this down to the ye old 55. Neme working that corner, draws the attention of Jorgensen, and Orozco will run this clock down as far as he can. No try, out and in. He went partially across. The ref's gonna say one of his casters crossed, and then he came back off the court because he was trying not to go in there. Somebody was pushing on him and he pulled back.
Yeah, it's a shame. Be great to see that again, maybe in the next game break.
There probably wasn't a camera on his front casters, unfortunately. Denmark makes it 51. Again, not at all representative of the first 3 quarters. The final score will be here. So Orozco trying to work for this final try. Neme will just take it across. 33 seconds remaining.
They've really got to try and keep their heads up, Colombia, and just play the rest of this game out. You know, don't let too many goals slip.
Denmark calls timeout with 22 seconds remaining. Now they have another timeout, don't they? Or is that the last one?
I think that's the last one. Yeah.
Up there, it goes off the board. So they can run it down to 7 seconds.
Run it at 15 and then beat. Okay. Good game. Nice full quarter.
Shot clock is off. Denmark will inbound in the backcourt because Jorgensen called timeout in the backcourt.
I think they still have the whole shot clock. They called that timeout for the just getting over the half.
Oh, okay, right. So they're going to run a play here. Usually they start running these plays 15 seconds out. That Orozco across the line, they're going to say that is not a penalty try. Now, I was working with why can't I think of his name? Simon yesterday, and when we were watching the Denmark game after our game, Denmark had a penalty try that he says he would have called not a try, put the guy in the box, and Denmark would have had control of the clock, and they'd have been able to run it out and not end up going to overtime. It's an interesting situation. I'd like to have seen like other referees' opinions on how that was called.
Yeah.
So that'll be our final 52-44. Denmark with the win. Colombia putting the world on notice that they're here to play.
Yeah, unbelievable performance from Colombia.
You know, yesterday when they played Brazil, I leaned a little hard into all the woes that Brazil has had. 2 guys who didn't make it. One had a stroke a couple weeks ago. One decided not to come. We've got a player whose classification changed on them. So they were pretty disappointed, but Colombia beat them up, and you know, I don't think enough credit was given to Colombia for doing exactly that.
Right.
And now we'll see the surprise as
Number 11 from Colombia, Julian Vargas.
Vargas receiving his Player of the Match award.
That was I just got a great statistic. Colombia had 12 tire punctures in that game.
Oh, wow.
So Vargas there, man of the match. And the teams will do the traditional post-game handshake. What a great game. Thanks for working with me, Chris Ryan. My name's Dave Mengen. We will both be commentating games all week. 3 more each today. Look forward to seeing you. So as we said before, coming up after this one is New Zealand, Great Britain at 12:15. And on the other court at 11:15.